Bethesda Game Studio have a big issue with their development cycle right now. And this was really brought to my attention really because of this one tweet from Okami here on Twitter. Really showcases like the time between their games is just insane at this point now. Saying that the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer from E3 2018 is officially older than Skyrim was when it released. Because Skyrim released in November 2011, which is like, God, I can hear my knees creaking just looking at that date. So using the super high-tech graph, 2011 is Skyrim, and then you had 7 years later, you had the trailer right here, and then now it's 2025. That is another 7 years since the trailer's release, which is obviously they had some other things in the works since the announcement of this trailer, right? The year that they made the announcement, you had Fallout 76 be revealed and announced and showcase what the game's going to be like. Again, it wasn't exactly what players were expecting. They tried doing the ESO thing, but for Fallout, did not succeed for the longest time. It wasn't until the Fallout show until they actually started gaining a pretty good amount of momentum. This is where we had the fabulous memes of it just works in 16 times the detail. But more about Fallout later in this video, which is kind of heartbreaking to think about. Like, this presentation is so old. This is when they fully revealed Starfield to come out to the player base. And this trailer was just kind of like those cool little teaser things to get people excited, to let them know what's happening with Bethesda Game Studios. So they, between the time of announcing Starfield and showcasing it to the public for like the major first time showing it, and also having the game release, and also all the other things that have happened with Bethesda Game Studios since the launch of Starfield, especially with like even having DLC for the game, that we haven't even had an Elder Scrolls single player game in the longest time. And for it to be this long since we've had a true Skyrim experience, like yes, I said earlier, there is ESO where yeah, you can play on there if you wanted to get your Skyrim fix, but it doesn't hit the same as like a single player crafted RPG experience, which is what people are really looking forward when it comes to Bethesda quality games. Like yeah, like I said, you have your Fallout 76 fans, you have your ESO fans, but these RPG beats are what really set the tone for Bethesda and also the gaming industry as a whole. And I understand also not just releasing games out there, because that can definitely dilute your IP a lot. I mean, look at Call of Duty and all the sports games out there. But the thing is that you can't really make your fans wait 14 years between main title games. Though of course with Bethesda RPG games, there are a lot of crossovers because they all generally kind of have the same type of vibe, right? Same kind of feel, just different types of things that they might add to it depending on the IP itself, like Skyrim, Fallout, now Starfield thrown in there. So it might not feel like it's been 14 years since we've had like a true Bethesda game, because like what we had Fallout 4 released in 2015, so I'm sure a lot of the fans from Skyrim hopped over to play Fallout as well. But the real kicker is we didn't get a major Bethesda RPG single player experience until Starfield in 2023. And that's, I mean, yeah, you've had like ESO, like I said, and Fallout 76 between there, but those are more live service ongoing games that don't really scratch the same itch. It might not have the same type of audience crossover. And for how meh Starfield has been received by the general gaming public, like it's not a bad game, especially, but just compared to like the game quality of games we had in 2023, which is like a generational year worth of gaming releases, that when Starfield released, it was probably like a little bit more hated on than it actually deserved. But then we had the Shattered Space DLC that came out at the end of 2024, which was overall just not received well at all by the community. And that's really just because it felt like it was lacking the quality you would expect to see or take any feedback from the community that they had been talking about for the longest time, and just really didn't really have much to add to the game. It was more just more Starfield rather than like in a true expansion like we saw with like Far Harbor from Fallout 4, various other expansions that Bethesda has made. So at this current pace, we do know that yes, it's been in the works since 2018 at least, but I mean, this trailer was definitely made more for just like recruitment's sake, right? So then they can just say, we want to hire people for Elder Scrolls 6 without having to be using code names for job descriptions and be so secretive, and these type of games being in projects for so long that eventually leaks are going to happen and people find out that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to happen. So it's like, yeah, it makes sense to just kind of just announce it, just so then you can just get it out there and then let the gaming community run wild with it. But the thing is that like, when you announce things this far in advance, that it just really makes you feel like this is this even happening? How long do we have to wait? Especially with the pace that Bethesda has been working at in the last few years. Like, we have years until Elder Scrolls 6 gets revealed, unless Xbox just has a massive ace up the sleeve this year for 2024's showcase. So let's go back to our high-tech graph technology to break it down, to visualize like the time frames we're talking about here. Like 2025, I don't expect anything for Elder Scrolls 6. I'd say at the absolute best, Elder Scrolls 6 releases in 2026, meaning we'll most likely have like a DLC that comes with it as well the following year. It seems to be a general trend that we see from Bethesda, but then that means that then production will start for the next Fallout game. And for how popular Fallout is right now, you gotta hit it when the iron is hot. Like what Sony is doing right now with Helldivers, making an actual movie off of Helldivers within the first year of the game being released. But you see right here that like production will start for Fallout, meaning like probably at best we'll get Fallout in 2035 for Fallout 5. Like, it can't take that long, guys. Like, there has to be something that needs to change when it comes to development of Bethesda products. You can't wait 20 years between titles to release a new iteration, right? Like I said earlier, like, we understand that, like, yeah, you don't want to dilute the product. And Todd Howard has said he doesn't mind the fan base waiting, which totally makes sense. Again, like, it kind of plays into the whole thing that anticipation and waiting for the next game is a big part of what causes its success so many times. But 20 years, dude, that's generations. That's a whole generation you've just missed of gamers because of you're slow at making products. The only thing we actually really know about Bethesda titles coming out anytime soon would be the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake coming in, which should be actually made on Unreal Engine 5, according to all the leaks and rumors that we've heard about this, releasing probably at the end of 2025 to kind of get that, scratch that itch for you Elder Scrolls fans out there. But of course, also being made in Unreal Engine 5, if this actually is a success, I think will also lead to more issues with Bethesda fans not being happy with Bethesda continuing on with the Creation Engine. And it has been confirmed that Elder Scrolls 6 will be on Creation Engine 2, the same engine of Starfield. Obviously, there'll be some improvements made from there. And for your Fallout fans out there, we do know that according to some FTC leaked documents when Microsoft was trying to buy Bethesda at the time, that Fallout 3 remaster is currently in the works. From the initial time frame, it has slipped a little bit from its initial release time frame, but it's still currently in the works right now. I mean, it's all been leaked and has not been officially announced, but I mean, we have official documentation that we know it's happening. Remasters and remakes are fantastic. It's a great way to revitalize the interest in a franchise, but they don't substitute a new full release. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Fallout 5 fall to, I don't know, probably 2024. I mean, it's a possibility from this current time schedule that Bethesda's working on right now. So clearly something needs to change when it comes to Bethesda and how they are making their games nowadays. I understand that game development has become more complicated, more expensive, and more difficult than ever before, but you still need to find ways to effectively release products for people to enjoy. If you made it this far in the video, I hope I earned your like, maybe even a subscribe. If you want some more content from me, check out these videos right here of all that other good stuff. So thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.